Hi, my name is Maggie, and I'd love to talk about Denisovans and their morphology. Now, Denisovans are an ancient hominin that lived alongside modern humans and Neanderthals about 80,000 years ago and ranged from Siberia to East Asia. Now, we don't know very much about them as we have very few bone fragments, most of which were found in Siberia in the Denisova cave, which they were named after. But luckily, from this fossil evidence, including a pinky bone of a 13-year-old girl, they were able to sequence some DNA. And from that DNA, we can tell a lot about who they were, such as that they had darker hair, they had darker eyes, darker skin, and likely a low population, and they had pretty low genetic diversity in their genome. Now, what you can't tell is morphology. You can't tell what their bone structure was. That was until 2019, when a few scientists came together and decided to see if they could predict the morphology of the Denisovans using their DNA, specifically DNA methylation patterns. Now, DNA methylation can highly affect gene expression and phenotypes, right? It can activate or deactivate different genes and change the phenotype altogether. It's very important in regulating gene expression. So because of this, the scientists used DNA methylation patterns as a proxy for gene activity. They developed a method that compared Denisovan DNA methylation patterns to those of normal humans, Neanderthals, and chimpanzees, and inferred which genes may become up or down regulated along each lineage. They then linked these changes to potential phenotypic alterations by analyzing phenotypes that are known to be incurred by loss of function mutations in these genes and could therefore be roughly paralleled with reduced activity. Now, they tested this method pretty thoroughly over 3 years by configuring skeletons of Neanderthals, humans, and chimpanzees, and their resulting predictions had an 85% accuracy, with their highest rating being 90.5% for chimpanzees. So this method was pretty well tested. Now, from this, their prediction of the morphology, they were able to create a picture of the 13-year-old girl from which the pinky bone was found. And this was their prediction of what she would have looked like, as well as her pinky bone alongside her. Now, some of the interesting traits they predicted about Denisovans were that they had 56 anatomical traits that were distinctly different from Homo sapiens and Neanderthals, and 34 of which were in the skull. They tended to have longer dental arches, no chins, a wider skull, a longer jaw, as well as a wider chest, a more flattened nose, elongated and flattened skull, and a wide chest and hips. Their tooth root was also longer than that of Neanderthals and anatomically modern humans. Now, I find it fully awe-inspiring that you could find this much from just one 13-year-old girl's pinky bone, and I'd love to see what science is going to do next. Thank you. These are my sources.